I feel like when I get told a solution, it's kind of not really a solution. Hello. I thought I wasn't going to be making any more of these videos because they were not great for me to just consolidate all the things that were not going great and just talk about them. But I've been going to a lot of doctors. I've been still trying things to try to get better. And the same thing happens. I find something that works, and then eventually it stops working, and I go back to how I was before that thing started working or helping me. And then I don't know if maybe that thing worked because I wanted it to work and I told myself it was working. Or maybe sometimes it does work. It does help me get better than I did when I started doing that exercise or that treatment or whatever, but it still doesn't bring me back to recovery. Recently I've been trying acupuncture and it has helped my body numbness a lot. I can feel more of my body now. Before, a lot of times I'd get food stuck in my throat, or it would feel stuck because I could not really feel my throat. So I guess the part I could feel, I would feel like something was stuck, when really it could have been like my throat was scratchy or whatever, and I just couldn't fully feel it, so I couldn't describe it. Now I feel food when I swallow. Most of the time, yeah. I've been going for acupuncture for probably 8 weeks now. Sometimes I've gone twice a week. Sometimes I've gone once every week because it's not covered by insurance, so it's expensive. And also after acupuncture, I don't feel good for a few days. I feel really tired. Probably my body's recovering, and then I feel better. It's helped my mind be a little clearer sometimes. I mean, all of this is like I still have good days and bad days. So it still fluctuates a lot and it's hard to predict. Any stress does complicate the situation. Whether it's stress being very hot, which it's hot in here right now because I had to turn off the AC, so I'm gonna try to make this video quick. Stress in any capacity. So I try to debunk the stress and figure out what's the root cause of it and addressing it, so I can just deal with the stress better so it doesn't become this huge thing in my mind. When I've gone to doctors, I've not even mentioned long COVID. I haven't been mentioning it because as soon as they hear that, they're kind of just like, oh, don't know what to do about that. There's nothing to help, so be on your way. So I just don't mention it anymore. I just talk about my problems and see what they have to offer. I don't mention the research I've done unless it's clear that I know more than them, and then I'll say something. But I don't mention it because then I feel like they're quick to pinpoint it on long COVID or something that they can't help me and something that they don't know about, so I don't mention it. And I see what they have to say, and then I research that after to see if it fits to me or if it doesn't. I had to stop recording for a second because I was getting too hot, so I turned on the AC for a little bit, and now I'm ready. So my symptoms that I still have, my body numbness is better, but it's still there sometimes. I get migraines, neck and shoulder pain, very badly. Dizziness, confusion, stomach problems. My body aches are better. I am really exhausted a lot of times. Like today, I slept till 1 p.m. and I slept till 1 p.m. yesterday and the day before because I went to 3 doctors 3 days in a row, and I pushed through it, and then once I was over with, I was just exhausted. So I've been really tired, and even though I slept till 1 p.m., I'm still tired, and my mind is fuzzy. I've been doing acupuncture. So Monday I went to acupuncture, Tuesday I had a brain and neck MRI, and Wednesday I went to the gastroenterologist. So I kind of go through phases where I'm looking for answers. I go to doctors, don't get answers, stop going to doctors. Then I try to find the answers myself, can't find answers. After I do trial and error, nothing works, or it works and then it stops working. Then I get angry, I can't find a solution. I start going to doctors again, and then the cycle repeats. And I would say that I'm slowly getting better. So slowly, like underlined and bold. But it's frustrating process because there's no like, do this, do this, do this. If I knew what to do, I would do it, even if it was like a very restricted diet, even if it was like I had to like plan my day to a T. If I knew what would make me better, I would do it. But because I don't, it's like a lot of trial and error and frustration and not knowing who to trust. And it's just, when you don't feel good to have to deal with all of this and not know who to turn to, is frustrating. Because I go to doctors, they prescribe me medicine that has a whole long list of side effects, and I'm just like, I'd rather not complicate my situation by taking that medicine and not knowing how it's going to affect me. Because if it gives me a worse side effect than like something I already have, it's not helping me, because maybe it'll make one thing better, but then it makes something else worse. And clearly there's something going on in my body right now that it's really sensitive. So if I take a medicine, I'm like, I don't want to take a medicine that will help my body pains and then it'll make me more dizzy. Like that's not going to help me overall, because it's going to just make one symptom worse and one better. So I'm trying to find out what's the actual root cause of my symptoms and to fix that and address it through like physical therapy or supplements or like lifestyle changes. But it's frustrating because doctors recommend medicine right away, and whenever I tell them, I get side effects. They're like, oh, you can't think about that when you're taking the medicine, otherwise it's going to happen. If you think you're going to have a side effect, it's going to happen. And I'm like, no, I don't take a medicine and think about it, I'm going to get a side effect. I'm open-minded and I want it to work. And then what happens? I take that medicine 1 or 2 times, probably around the 2nd or 3rd time actually, and then I get a side effect that's like, that I'm not dealing with. Like my hands get really shaky, or like I have severe trouble breathing. I have to take my asthma medicine, or I have to take Benadryl, and these are not like anxiety symptoms. This is like a physical reaction that if I ignore, then it keeps getting worse. So it's not in my head that I'm wishing upon these side effects. They literally just happen, and I'm aware that my body is sensitive, and I tell these doctors that, and they're just like, you can't have that mindset. And I'm like, okay, but this is based on facts. This has happened before, and I'm making a decision based on facts, not on like magic. So as a doctor, I feel like they should understand that, and they should take my word that I understand my body more than them, who have known me for probably 10 minutes. So that's my rant for the day. I don't know if I'll keep making these videos because it's annoying to reiterate things. Sometimes it makes me feel better, and then other times it just makes me feel really frustrated that I'm trying so hard. And then you'll go to a doctor and they'll just be like, it's just anxiety. And it's like, no. No. And it's terrible, because if you describe symptoms, like, it can sound like anxiety, like your mind isn't clear, your heart beats fast, or you can't breathe sometimes. But sometimes I mentioned how stress makes it worse, but sometimes even when I'm calm, like today I'm calm, and I still don't feel good. I feel really dizzy and confused, and like the ground is uneven, and it's just really hard to predict and really hard to explain, because stress makes it worse. But even when I'm calm, it's still there. So I don't want to like keep on tumbling in a circle and repeating the same thing, but that's how I've been feeling. I've been searching for solutions that don't cause side effects, that don't have any negative consequences, because if I don't want it to get worse, and if something doesn't feel right, I've been listening to my gut, and I'm just like not doing that. But still being open-minded is really focusing on the facts. And when I'm about to make a decision on if I'm going to try something out, I could make a negative and positive list. and think about what has happened in the past, if certain things have worked for me, and if this activity or therapy that I want to try, will it work specifically for me and what I need, instead of thinking about people in general. Because I know myself more, and I've tried a lot of things by now, and I know certain things make it worse, like physical therapy. I've never found a physical therapist that has listened to me. They always want to push me too far, and I'm the type of person where I already push myself to 120%. So then if a therapist wants to push me even further, it's like way too much. Like, I know my limit. And if I'm telling you I can't do past this, it means that I've already pushed myself too far and I need to stop now, not that you need to push me further. So that has never worked out for me. If I found a physical therapist that listened to me and really understood my personality, that I already give 120%, then maybe it would work. Maybe that would help, like, my pain, and maybe my posture, that would help my shoulders. I don't know. That could probably help my dizziness, because I know my neck has to do with my dizziness, and the brain fog, because something's messed up there. But I haven't been able to find someone like that. And after you've gone through a lot of, like, bad situations with someone who's supposed to be trying to help you but not actually listening to you, it's hard to want to try it again, because then, like, I've gotten so sick after dealing with people who don't listen to me, and then I'm sick for like a month or 2 months after, because they told me to do something and it just really was wrong for my body, and it took me forever to recover and put me in so much more pain. So does not make me want to try that again. So these are my feelings. I don't know if I'm still gonna call this a long COVID vlog. I don't know. I just completely have not been saying the words long COVID, because it doesn't seem helpful to, like, mention that this happened after COVID, because then doctors just stop listening, or they in their head, they're like, don't have the answer, so I have nothing to say. But maybe for the sake of, like, continuity, I would still label this part of the Long COVID Sucks series, because I don't know what the heck is going on. I still have no idea, and I feel like a lot of people probably are in the same boat, where they don't have answers, and people leave in the comments solutions, and I've tried things. Sometimes I read a suggestion and I'm like, just, that's not gonna work for me. I know it won't, so I'm not gonna try it. But some things I think are gonna try, I do try it. But, like, I tried taking probiotics. They made my stomach better, made my brain fog better, and then they made it worse, and now I have what's called SIBO. And I'm like, so you try to do something that you say doesn't have, like, negative consequences. Like, a doctor told me to take the probiotics, a functional neurologist, and he didn't tell me to not take it on hot foods. I didn't know, and it was a powder form, so I was putting it on my burgers, my vegan burgers, and it wasn't working. And then I looked it up, and I'm just like, oh, so I wasted half that, like, $40 bottle on, like, going into the trash because it wasn't working, because I put it on hot foods, and he just told me to put it on any food. So then once I started using it the way you're supposed to, put it on, like, room temperature foods or room temperature or cold drinks, then it started helping me. But then, like I said, I kept taking it because he never told me, like, to stop. And then eventually my stomach problems got worse, got very bloated, and all things that come with that. And then I have SIBO, which there's this medicine you can take for it. It's an antibiotic, which antibiotics don't do well with me. It's a huge pill. I can't swallow pills. It's just I feel like when I get told a solution, it's kind of not really a solution. It's like, if I were to take that medicine, the antibiotic, maybe it would help the SIBO, but antibiotics, then it might worsen other parts of my stomach, or then it might worsen my brain fog. And when you ask doctors about this, they don't take it seriously sometimes, because they don't understand when you don't feel good chronically, when you don't feel good for a long time, if it gives you like bad stomach cramps, or if it gives you a bad migraine worse than usual, like all these things are severe because it's on top of the pain you already experience every single day. Yeah, if you're like not in pain and you experience these side effects, okay, they're like, you can deal with them. But when you're already tired of dealing with pain and like discomfort for years, these symptoms, these additional symptoms, make a big difference and are hard to deal with and cope with. So I've been listening to myself. Yup. See you later.